Welcome back to my inner sanctum. I'm your hostess, Countess Elizabeth, mistress of the macabre. Today's story will be a thrilling tale of survival against the odds. Man always strives for survival, even when it seems impossible. It is natural, that need for self-preservation, but this is a tale about going at it alone, which may have not been the best decision. Today's tale will be about the man who had to cut his own arm off to save himself from death. Today we will talk about the man who had to cut off his own arm to save himself from death, adventurer Aron Ralston. So let us go on an adventure in that desolate canyon as we explore our grotesque curiosity. On April 26, 2003, Aron Ralston was canyoneering alone through Blue John Canyon in eastern Wayne County, Utah, just south of the Horseshoe Canyon unit in Canyonlands National Park. While he was descending the lower stretches of Slot Canyon, a suspended boulder became dislodged while he was climbing down from it. The boulder first smashed his left hand and then crushed his right hand against the canyon wall. Ralston had not informed anyone of his hiking plans, nor did he have any way to call for help. Assuming that he would die without intervention, he spent 5 days slowly sipping small amounts of water. He had approximately 350 milliliters or 12 fluid ounces, and slowly eating his small amount of food, 2 burritos that he packed earlier that day, while repeatedly trying to extricate his arm. His efforts were futile, as he was unable to free his arm from the 800-pound or 360-kilogram chalk stone. After 3 days of trying to lift and break the boulder, the dehydrated and delirious Ralston prepared to amputate his trapped arm at a point of the mid-forearm in order to escape. After having experimented with tourniquets and having made exploratory, superficial cuts to his forearm, he realized on the 4th day that in order to free his arm, he would have to cut through the bones in it, but the tools available were unable to do so. After running out of food and water on the 5th day, Ralston decided to drink his own urine. He carved his name and date of birth and presumed date of death into the sandstone canyon wall and videotaped his last goodbyes to his family. He did not expect to survive the night, but as he attempted to stay warm, he began hallucinating and had a vision of himself playing with a future child while missing part of his right arm. Ralston credited this as giving him the belief that he would live. After waking at dawn the following day, he discovered his arm had begun to decompose due to lack of circulation. He became desperate to tear it off. Ralston then had an epiphany that he could break his radius and ulna bones using torque against the trapped arm. He did so, then amputated his forearm with a multi-tool, using a dull 2-inch knife and pliers for tougher tendons. The process took an hour, during which he used tubing from a Camelback bottle as a tourniquet, taking care to leave minor arteries until last. The manufacturer of the multi-tool was never named, but Ralston said it was not a Leatherman, but what you get if you bought a $15 flashlight and a free multi-tool. After freeing himself, Ralston climbed out of the Slot Canyon, which he had been trapped, rappelled down a 65-foot or 20-meter sheer wall, then hiked out of the canyon, all one-handed. He was 8 miles or 13 kilometers from his vehicle, and he had no phone. However, after 6 miles, 9.7 kilometers of hiking, he encountered a family on vacation from the Netherlands, Eric and Monique Major, and their son Andy, who gave him food and water and hurried to alert authorities. Ralston had feared he would bleed to death. He had lost 40 pounds, 18 kilograms, including 25% of his blood volume. Rescuers searching for Ralston, alerted by his family that he was missing, had narrowed the search down to the Canyonlands, and he was picked up by a helicopter in a wide area of the canyon. He was rescued approximately 4 hours after amputating his arm. Ralston later said that if he had amputated his arm earlier, he would have bled to death before being found, while if he had not done it, he would have been found dead in the Slot Canyon days later. His severed hand and forearm were retrieved from under the boulder by park authorities. According to television presenter Tom Brokaw, it took 13 men, a winch, and a hydraulic jack to move the boulder so that Ralston's arm could be removed. His arm was then cremated and the ashes given to Ralston. He returned to the accident scene with Tom Brokaw and a camera crew 6 months later on his 28th birthday to film a Dateline NBC special about the accident in which he scattered the ashes of his arm there, where he said they belong. Well, that was truly a grotesque tale. The man had to sever his own arm in order to be able to escape, from almost sure death. At least he was able to escape. At least there was that. He could have just done nothing and just then died, but he chose to live, even though he had to sever his arm in the process. Thank you for watching the video. Subscribe, like, and share if you would also like to keep exploring our grotesque curiosity. We will meet again in the darkness of the night.